You've done everything they told you to do. You put in the hours. You stayed late when others went home. You said yes to every project, every extra shift, believing that your effort would eventually be rewarded. You are the definition of a hard worker. So why, when you look at your bank account, does it feel like you're running on a treadmill, with the speed cranked up to the maximum, but you haven't actually moved forward an inch? It's one of the most frustrating feelings in the world, isn't it? To pour your soul into your work, only to find yourself stuck in the exact same place, year after year. We're all sold a simple promise from the moment we start our careers: work hard, and you will be rewarded. But what if that promise has a hidden, deceptive clause? What if the very way you've been taught to work hard is the anchor holding you down? This isn't about being lazy. And this is not another video telling you to just work smarter, not harder. Frankly, that's lazy advice. This is about something deeper. A fundamental, and costly, misunderstanding of what valuable effort truly is. If you're searching for the keys to unlock wealth and freedom, you're in the right place. Let's open the vault. Because today, we're going to dismantle the invisible trap that snares millions of hardworking people. A trap built from good intentions and bad advice. And it all starts with understanding something called the effort illusion. So, what is the effort illusion? It's the subconscious belief that busyness equals progress. It's the idea that if you're sweating, stressed, and exhausted at the end of the day, you must have been productive. Our culture is built on this illusion. We're taught to measure our worth by the hours we clock in, not by the value we create. Think about it. Society praises the employee who stays at the office until midnight, regardless of what they actually accomplished. We romanticize the hustle, the grind, the sheer volume of work. But this illusion creates a dangerous blind spot. It makes you focus on tasks, not on outcomes. It tricks you into believing that all effort is created equal. And that is the single most expensive lie in the world of work. Imagine two people who decide they want to get a massive boulder to the top of a hill. The first person is a pure hard worker. He gets behind the boulder and pushes with all his might. He sweats, he strains, he works for hours, moving it inch by painful inch. His effort is immense. The second person looks at the boulder, looks at the hill, and walks away into the woods. For an hour, he does nothing to the boulder. He's searching. Finally, he comes back with a long, sturdy log. He wedges it under the boulder, places a small rock beneath the log, and with a fraction of the effort, he moves the boulder. The first person is working in the problem. The second person is working on the problem. He created leverage. That single difference is why one person remains stuck, exhausted, and broke, while the other creates immense results with their time and energy. So the critical question you have to ask yourself is this: are you just pushing the rock, or are you looking for your lever? Because most of us spend our lives pushing, without ever realizing the tool that creates massive leverage is right in front of us. The problem is, it's the one tool we're often taught to fear. So what is this powerful lever that we're conditioned to fear? It's not some complex business strategy or a secret investment vehicle. It's simply stillness. It's the act of stopping. The power of the strategic pause. The deliberate choice to think before you grind. I know that sounds almost insultingly simple. But feel the anxiety that bubbles up the moment you even consider it. That little voice in your head that screams, "You're being lazy. You should be doing something. Everyone else is getting ahead." That voice is the sound of the effort illusion defending itself. Our society has a deep-seated addiction to action. Psychologists call this the action bias. It's our brain's default setting to favor doing something over doing nothing, especially when we feel uncertain. It's a survival mechanism from a bygone era. It's why we refresh our email inbox 100 times a day. It's why we fill our calendars with pointless meetings. We are terrified of empty space, because we've been brainwashed to equate stillness with failure. But here is the critical truth the wealthy have always understood: strategic inaction is the most productive action of all. Constant busyness is a form of cognitive laziness. It allows you to feel productive without forcing you to do the truly difficult work, the work of deep thought. The hard work of asking, is this the right rock to be pushing in the first place? Is there a faster way to the top of the hill? What is the one move that would make the other 10 moves unnecessary? This is the work that builds empires. This is the work that buys back your freedom. But you cannot do this work while you're spending every ounce of energy just pushing the rock. So how do you begin to break free from this addiction to busyness? It starts by scheduling the single most important appointment of your entire week, an appointment that most people would call a complete waste of time. This appointment, this meeting that can change the entire trajectory of your career and your bank account, is the zero-action appointment. It's 1 hour, maybe just 30 minutes to start, blocked out in your calendar every single week. Treat it like the most important meeting you have. Because it is. During this time, your phone is off and in another room. Your laptop is closed. There are no emails, no notifications, no chores, no distractions. It is just you, a blank page, and a pen. Your only job during this appointment is not to do work, but to think about your work. To step off the treadmill and get a bird's-eye view of the entire gym. At first, this stillness will feel uncomfortable. Your brain, addicted to the drug of busyness, will itch for a distraction. That's normal. Your task is to simply guide it back to a few critical, high-leverage questions. Questions like, what are the 20% of my efforts that are leading to 80% of my desired results? And, more importantly, what are the 80% of my busy tasks that are only producing a tiny fraction of the outcome? What am I doing out of pure habit that I could stop doing right now, with little to no negative consequence? What is the biggest bottleneck that is holding me or my business back, and what is a single, elegant solution that could permanently remove it? This isn't daydreaming. This is the highest and most profitable form of work there is. You are forcing your brain to switch from being a reactive, short-term problem solver, to being a proactive, long-term architect of your life. You are stepping out of the trenches to look at the entire map. The insights you gain in this 1 hour will be worth more than 100 hours of mindless grinding. They will reveal the levers you've been ignoring. They will show you which boulders aren't even worth your energy. This process gives you a new map. A map to wealth and freedom. But a map is useless if you just fold it up and go back to pushing the same boulder. To actually move forward, you must use that map to find the one right action. You have to learn the crucial difference between a wobbling domino and a lead domino. So, what is the crucial difference between these two types of dominoes? Your daily life is filled with wobbling dominoes. These are the urgent but not important emails, the pointless meetings, the small, repetitive tasks that scream for your attention. They keep you incredibly busy. Pushing them over feels productive. You knock one down, it wobbles, and that's it. Nothing else happens. You just move on to the next one. This is the essence of the hamster wheel. This is the 80% of effort that produces only 20% of your results. A lead domino, however, is a totally different concept. A lead domino is the one task that, if you push it over, it starts a chain reaction. It strategically lines up and knocks down 10, or even 100, other tasks for you, automatically. Let's make this real. Manually creating a social media post every single day is pushing a wobbling domino. Spending 1 day learning how to use scheduling software to batch create and automate a month's worth of content. That's a lead domino. Answering 30 of the same customer questions via email is pushing 30 wobbling dominoes. Creating one clear, concise FAQ page on your website that eliminates those questions forever. That's a lead domino. The broke person's to-do list is a random, mile-long collection of wobbling dominoes. They pride themselves on how many they can cross off in a day. The wealthy person's to-do list has only 1, 2, or maybe 3 things on it. Their entire focus is on identifying and then aiming all their energy at the lead domino. They understand their job is not to be a doer of things but to be a remover of future work. They don't just manage problems, they create systems that solve them permanently. Your zero-action appointment is where you identify your lead domino. But finding it is only half the battle. There's a reason we instinctively avoid these critical tasks. Finding the domino is a game of intellect. But pushing it over? That's a game of courage. Because that one, crucial domino is almost always guarded by the two dragons that paralyze hardworking people the most. So what are these two dragons that stand guard over the most important work you'll ever do? The first is the dragon of perfectionism. This dragon whispers in your ear, "It's not quite ready yet. You need to do a little more research. You need to tweak that one last thing. You can't possibly show this to the world until it's flawless." Perfectionism poses as a virtue, a noble commitment to quality. But in reality, it's the most sophisticated and socially acceptable form of procrastination ever invented. It's just fear, wearing a tuxedo. It keeps you busy endlessly sharpening your axe, so you never have to face the challenge of actually trying to chop down the tree. The second dragon is the fear of the unknown. Lead domino tasks are, by their very nature, things that involve uncertainty. They often require you to learn a new skill, build a new system, or make a bold move you've never made before. Your brain is hardwired from millions of years of evolution to see uncertainty as a threat to your survival. It literally prefers the predictable misery of the hamster wheel over the uncertain promise of a breakthrough. This dragon breathes the fire of, what if? What if I fail? What if I look like an idiot? What if it doesn't work out? These two dragons work together in a perfect, paralyzing dance. Perfectionism convinces you not to start until everything is certain. And the fear of the unknown ensures that nothing is ever certain. It is the perfect trap. And it's the primary reason most hardworking people stay stuck. So how do you defeat these two beasts that have guarded your potential for years? Here's the secret, you don't. You don't fight them head-on. You trick them. You sneak past them. You do it by making the first step so ridiculously small, so non-threatening, that the dragons don't even wake up. So how do you sneak past these dragons? You use a simple but profoundly effective technique. Let's call it the 2-minute gateway. The rule is this: whatever your lead domino is, you must invent a version of it that can be started in less than 2 minutes. That's the entire trick. Your lead domino might be, write a book. That's huge and intimidating. The dragons will feast on that for years. Your 2-minute gateway action is, open a document and write one sentence. Your lead domino might be, build a new automated system for my business. That's a terrifyingly complex thought. Your gateway action is, draw one box on a piece of paper that represents the first step of the system. The goal of the gateway action is not to finish the task. It's not even to make meaningful progress. Its sole purpose is to break the paralyzing spell of inertia. To get you into motion. Perfectionism cannot fight an action that is too small to be imperfect. Fear of the unknown cannot fight an action that has zero risk and lasts only 120 seconds. It's a loophole in your own psychology. You are simply starting before your brain has a chance to talk you out of it. And once you start, a law of physics takes over. The law of momentum. Getting started is the hardest part. The 2-minute gateway makes starting almost laughably easy. And once you've begun, it's so much easier to continue for 5 minutes, then 10, then 30. This is the entire system. First, you escape the effort illusion by scheduling your zero-action appointment to think. Second, you use that time to identify your single most important lead domino. Third, you acknowledge the dragons guarding it. And fourth, you pick a tiny gateway action to sneak past them and just begin. This is the fundamental shift. From being a person who just works hard, to a person who works on what truly matters. This is how you stop pushing the boulder, and finally start using a lever. The reason you felt stuck isn't because you're not working hard enough. It's because you've been playing the wrong game entirely. You've been trying to win a game of leverage, by using only brute force. Trying to empty the ocean with a bucket, when you have the power to design a system that does it for you. Hard work is a beautiful, noble thing. But undirected hard work is a cage. It becomes the hamster wheel that drains your soul and your bank account, leaving you with nothing but exhaustion to show for it. The shift we've talked about today, from busyness to strategy, from wobbling dominoes to lead dominoes, from paralyzing fear to a simple 2-minute start, is your escape route. It's how you finally give your effort the respect it deserves, by aiming it at targets that truly matter. It's how you stop being just the laborer pushing the rock, and become the architect who moves mountains. Your potential is too great to be wasted on the effort illusion. This is one key, but if you want the whole vault, subscribe.